An explanation of the book The Gift of Fear by Gavin de Becker, one of the most important books on personal safety and threat awareness, even used in training security personnel and guards. I will divide the explanation into chapters, focusing on the main ideas, real-life examples, and warning signs explained by the author. Introduction to the book. Main idea. Fear is not the enemy we think it is. It is a gift, as it gives us early warning signs of danger. However, we often ignore these signs because we prefer to be polite or rational rather than trust our instincts. Gavin de Becker, a personal security expert and government consultant, recounts dozens of real-life stories that illustrate how people who survived attacks or threats had a weird feeling before the danger occurred. But some ignored it. Chapter 1. Fear is a gift. The author opens with the story of a woman who survived a murder attempt only because she listened to her instincts. He explains that innate fear is different from anxiety or obsession. True fear is an immediate reaction to something real. For example, if you're walking down a dark street and suddenly feel like something is wrong, that feeling should be taken seriously. Intuition is an internal alarm system operating in the background without your full awareness. Most important lesson. Trust your instincts, even if you can't explain why you feel threatened. Chapter 2. Anticipating violence. The author discusses how to anticipate violence by observing early signs. Many perpetrators don't commit a crime suddenly. They send out signals, intrusive questions, crossing boundaries, being overly persistent, etc. Gavin provides a list of 7 signs that abusers use to test the waters. Okay, 1. Overgrace. Someone insists on helping you even though you've said no. 2. Minimizing your refusal. For example, if you say no thanks and they say, why? Just a minute. 3. Overspeeding and building a relationship, talking to you as if he's known you for years. Or 4. Forcing acceptance, offering you something and then making you feel guilty if you refuse. 5. Control through fear. If you don't do this, I'll get angry, or people won't help you. 6. Calling you by name, excessively using your name to convince you that he's close to you. 7. Secret, saying, don't tell anyone I helped you. The important lesson: any behavior that makes you uncomfortable, even if it seems polite, deserves to be taken seriously. Chapter 3. Relationship violence. Discusses domestic and emotional violence and how victims often ignore the signs. The author explains that most relationship violence doesn't happen suddenly, but rather begins with small actions that gradually escalate. He provides tools for assessing risk, such as, is he jealous? Is he stalking you? Does he belittle you? He offers a scale called the MOs to assess the level of risk in a relationship. Key idea: not everyone who apologizes after a violent act will change, and returning to the aggressor perpetuates the violent behavior. Chapter 4. Stalkers and the Danger of Fame. Discusses the issue of stalking famous people, how admiration turns into obsession and then into a real danger. Explains that those who stalk others are not seeking love, but rather control. Key idea: completely ignoring the stalker is better than engaging, even if it's a negative response, because engagement fuels behavior. Chapter 5. Threats. Not everyone who threatens will carry out their threats, but threats are an important sign. The author explains the types of threats: vague, direct, and conditional. Gives examples of real threats that have led to crimes and others that have had no effect. Rule: monitor behavior, not just words. Chapter 6. Violence at work. Discusses attacks in the workplace, such as office shootings. He says that employees who commit this often exhibit signs of isolation, threats, constant negative talk, etc. He calls on companies to create an environment that allows people to speak up if they feel someone is dangerous. Chapter 7. Children and their intuition for danger. Children have a natural intuition, but adults discourage them from it. For example, a child doesn't want to greet someone, and adults insist on it. The author says, let children follow their intuition. They're often right. Chapter 8. When to worry. When not to worry. He provides tools to differentiate between legitimate anxiety and pathological anxiety. He explains that much anxiety comes from the media, but it doesn't actually protect you. Righteous fear helps you act. False fear paralyzes you. Book conclusion. Trusting intuition isn't magic. It's the use of subtle senses and signals. Personal safety starts from within. Listen to your inner voice. Don't be afraid to say no, and be vigilant. Summary of the most important practical ideas from the book. 1. Intuition doesn't lie. Don't dismiss it just because it's illogical. 2. Innate fear is your friend. It's an early warning sign. Or 3. Assault is rarely a surprise. There are premonitions. 4. Refusal is your right. Don't feel guilty about saying no. 5. Don't be afraid to appear impolite. Your life is worth more than compliments. 6. Observe behavior more than words, because it reflects true intention. 7. Trust yourself more. Don't let anyone question your sense of danger.